Hey, what's up, guys? This is RJ Game News USA here, and today we are going to be discussing all the details we know about Project Helix. That is the next generation of Xbox gaming, and we're going to get right into it. But first, if you support independent media, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate every one of you that do so. And we're going to talk about this. So we're going straight to the source here. This is Xbox Wire from Microsoft, and this is from Jason Ronald, the Vice President of Next Generation Xbox. He gave a keynote speech at GDC, the Game Developer Conference, or whatever the hell they abbreviate it for. He's basically a guy with a big-ass fucking wizard-like beard, and he went through telling us a whole shitload of details. He summarized his own speech here in this article on the Xbox Wire. We're going to read and discuss, so hopefully you all enjoy that. So he starts off by saying, this is a summary of my Xbox Developer Summit keynote address delivered March 11th at the 2026 Game Developer Conference. Our team is deep in development on our next generation Xbox console, Project Helix. We are pushing the boundaries of rendering and simulation in partnership with AMD using FSR Next to power what comes next. Starting in April, Xbox Mode will be rolling out to Windows in select markets. It brings a familiar Xbox experience to players while keeping the flexibility and openness of Windows. Alright, so let's discuss this. This is really interesting, because we talked a lot about how the next Xbox is going to bring a PC element to, or a Windows element to the Xbox console. But we haven't touched on the fact that they're bringing a console element to Windows the other way as well. And that's apparently what's happening here starting in April, ahead of this launch. Now, it also says, for developers, the Xbox Play Anywhere catalog now spans more than 1,500 games, creating a powerful opportunity to reach players seamlessly across console and Windows. The characters, worlds, and stories from developers from across the world have shaped every stage of Xbox's evolution. What's possible and where we go next as we celebrate the 25 years of Xbox this year, I want to give a special thank you to the developers, past and present, who have helped define Xbox's legacy, including the more than 5,000 developers around the world, and dropping, currently building for Xbox. We're continuing to push innovation for our next 25 years, with our team hard at work on next generation first-party console. Project Helix is designed to play your Xbox console and PC games, delivering leading performance and ushering in the next generation of console gaming. Guys, I think that this, to me, is the future of Xbox. They are never going back to your typical Xbox that's cut off from the PC ecosystem. Make no mistake about it. There are console elements to this box, and there are PC elements to this box. It's a fusion. And I'm sure they'll come out with different models. I'm sure they'll come out with upgraded models in years to come. But this is not a typical console, for sure. And it's not a typical PC either. This truly is a hybrid, is my understanding, as we continue to read onward. As part of our multi-year partnership with AMD, we are shaping the future of rendering and simulation. Project Helix is powered by a custom AMD SoC and co-designed for the next generation of DirectX and FSR to unlock what comes next. It delivers an order of magnitude leap in ray tracing performance and capability, integrates intelligence directly into the graphics and compute pipeline, and drives meaningful gains in efficiency, scale, and visual ambition. The result is a more realistic, immersive, and dynamic world for players. I gotta say, this is going to be by far the most powerful console we've ever seen delivered on the market. Now, that's going to be reflected in the price, and I'm sure you kind of guess, hey, what do high-end PCs run right now? You know what I mean? And it's like, will developers be able to truly unlock the gap, the difference here? This will be considerably more powerful than the PS5 Pro, but will it even matter? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what success looks like to Xbox anymore other than making revenue at the end of the day. I'm excited to share we plan on shipping alpha versions of the hardware to developers beginning in 2027. Now, for those of you that don't remember, they did the same thing in 2005 with the Xbox 360. They would send out the dev kits. Later that year, we got the 360. So, to me, this is a clear and total indication, hey, this system's coming out like November 2027. They are not waiting any longer, and neither should they. They're clearly in last place on console sales. They clearly been wanting to do this for a while, and they should go ahead and pull the trigger. And that's what they're going to do. Now, Sony could either sit on their laurels, or they can respond. And I feel like PS6 is coming in 2028, guys. I do. I feel like some of those rumors about it being 29 or 30, I don't think so. I think PS6 is going to come in 2028 now. And I'm not ready for it, to be honest with you. Continuing the article. And we're committing to keeping games from our generations of Xbox playable for years to come. As part of our 25th anniversary later this year, we'll be rolling out some new ways to play some of the most iconic games from our past. As games increasingly span devices, we're breaking down the barriers between console and PC games for a more seamless cross-device play. And we're making the Xbox experience consistent across screens. This also gives developers a simple, more unified path to reach more players while helping reduce cost. Yeah, it's really a combination of, you may not see any more. Like when IGN announces a game or something in a few years, and you know how it says PlayStation, Xbox, PC, you may just see PlayStation, Windows, or PlayStation, PC. Legitimately. Because anything on the PC is basically going to play on this device. So you don't have to differentiate it. And it's not like Xbox has any exclusives that are only on Xbox and not on PC as well. So you could literally just say PS6 and PC, or PS6 Switch 2 and PC. You know what I mean? Continuing the article, we're taking everything we've learned about building a leading gaming OS and bringing it directly into Windows. For both players and developers, and debuting an early version of the ROG Ally handhelds today, I'm excited to share that we are bringing the same innovations to Windows 11 with Xbox Mode that begins rolling out in April. Starting with select markets, Xbox Mode lets players seamlessly switch between productivity and play, with the familiar full screen and controller optimized Xbox experience while embracing the openness of Windows. Yeah, so I think that's the idea behind the console too, and the idea behind Windows is you could switching between the modes where it's optimized for gameplay in Xbox, and switching between that and what you would prefer with a Windows platform. Not saying you have to do it. It's sort of similar to, an example of this would be, let's say you got an app on your phone. The app is optimized versus if you're just using a web browser. Now, I'm not much of a techie, so obviously I don't want to misspeak or speak out of turn on things. Xbox has an incredible lineup of game releases this year, from the return of iconic first-party franchises like Halo, Gears of War, to major titles from our partners across the globe, alongside bold creativity from independent developers like Beethoven and Dinosaurs Mixtape, or Crimson Desert from Pearl Abyss. I do want to add a few more things they could have added. This year alone, we're supposed to get Halo, like Campaign Evolved, Fable, and Forza. And I think Gears... Is Gears coming this year, or is that next year? But they really hit hard towards the end of the Series X generation of putting out these franchises, and they don't care about barriers whatsoever. So, clearly, this is just a new step for Xbox. Are they still going to get shit on by Sony ponies? 100%. 100%. This is going to sell like shit. Like, no offense. Like, this is going to sell like shit, like the Xbox ROG Ally did. I don't think it's no longer about console sales for Xbox at all. I think this is just one of many ways you can try to play their games, and maybe it's the preferred method, but I mean, that's just the direction they're going. If I talked about 10 ways to fix Xbox in a video in the past. That involved a lot of going back to the past to what worked. They're not doing that, clearly. And that's okay. They can go whatever route they want to go. And we as a consumer will get to vote with our wallets. Players should be able to play these games and more across devices, whether through purchases, subscriptions like Xbox Game Pass, or from other leading storefronts. Xbox Play Anywhere allows your games to move with you seamlessly across screens. Your progress carries forward, the time you've invested stays with you, and you only need to buy a game once. The Xbox Play Anywhere game catalog has grown to over 1,500 games, and 500 development teams have already shipped games with Xbox Play Anywhere. This is just the start of the next generation and the next 25 years of Xbox, and we can't wait to share more later this year. As we listen, learn, and build in partnership with the industry and the community, we'd like to thank you for being part of the journey and making games so unique and enduring. So that's what Jason Ronald had to say from the Xbox Wire, and that was a summarization of his speech at GDC. And I gotta say, what are my thoughts on this? There's something about this that feels oddly exciting, just because it's so different, it's so new, and I really want to follow what happens from a news perspective and from a strategy perspective, how this is going to look, how this is going to feel. But on the other hand, my personal interest in this has about as close to zero as you can imagine. Despite the fact I'm wearing the Xbox hat here, I am very satisfied playing Nintendo and PlayStation. I'm very satisfied with console gaming. I've never been a PC guy. I've railed against PC in some aspects. I've never understood why Xbox embraced PC, putting their games on PC, and of course it led to them putting games on PlayStation. I think PlayStation was smart to get out of putting their games on PC. Yes, it is consumer friendly to a degree, but also look what's going on. This is going to be a really expensive box, guys. This could be $1,500. And the reason I've avoided PC gaming for so long is it's the most expensive way to game. And yes, there's a good chance that online will be free. I would have loved for them to clarify that here. And again, Xbox didn't clarify. There's no way, no how they're going to try to charge you for playing online on its console PC hybrid if you could just go to Steam and play for free. I don't understand what's going on. If it is something that is going to be free to play online, they should lead with that. They should absolutely lead with that. The fact they haven't is a little concerning. I know there was also a lot of talk about backwards compatibility. They say that backwards compatibility, all your stuff's going to move forward. That's what they claim. We'll see what happens, what the actual truth ends up being. But I do think that it's fine that Xbox is changing out their console. The Series X generation flopped hard. You could argue even harder than the Xbox One. And so they're just changing strategy. Bottom line is this. We do need Microsoft with their gaming division to succeed. If they do not, so many great games developers and studios and franchises will be completely lost. Like, think of the Call of Duty games, think of the Bethesda games, think of the Microsoft Studio games. Those games are good, and they need to be played somewhere. Whether it's PlayStation, whether it's PC, whether it's this Xbox hybrid, is completely up to you as the consumer. Whether it's even the Switch 2, right? Some of this stuff should be on the Switch 2. But at the end of the day, we're going to keep monitoring this story, and we're going to figure out exactly what Project Helix is going to be. We're going to figure out all the specs before you know it. Before you know it, we're going to get hype for launch day. I actually really love it when the consoles don't all come out at the same time and they're coming out in different years. where there's like time to build up hype for a single console and then move on to the next. The fact that Switch 2 came out in 2025 is great, and now this could come out in 2027 and then give us some leeway for figuring out how that happened, what the fallout is from that release to getting to a PS6 in 2028 or 2029. So, yeah, from a news perspective, I'm very excited to see how this all pans out. And I'm also more excited as somebody who is a Nintendo and PlayStation gamer to be able to play more Xbox games on those consoles. But we'll see how this all plays out. But until next time, this is RJ signing out. Have a good one. And let me know in the comments below, are you interested in Project Helix? If so, let me know why. And until next time, peace. See ya.